being a missionary, there's a lot of voices that are speaking. And how do you hear God's voice when you're hearing other voices? It was clear that God has spoken to us to follow him and be a part of his mission and ministry. And a guy from Campus Crusade shared with me that I would have to leave my job and Gwen would have to leave her job and I would have to raise the poor. And because we were Christians, we did the right Christian things. We smiled, got in the car, and honestly, we said, this white guy has lost his mind if he think we're gonna quit our jobs and go beg people for money. And I get home and I begin to read the scripture, and God began to put me on a journey that's been a life journey for me and a life lesson. He took the verse that the just should live by faith, which was so foreign because we had never seen anybody step out on faith. And so Gwen and I went to Gwen and shared with her what God had said to me. And Gwen said, Darryl, I'm willing to follow you as you follow Christ. Just make sure you're following Christ. And God's voice kept speaking that this is what's next for you all. I'm calling you to follow me, and what I'm leading you to is true. So we had never seen anybody raise support. People in the African American community thought that I had lost my mind and that Gwen was foolish for following me. And this was Christians. I'm not talking about people that was lost, but people that we went to church with who began to give us reason and logic that why we shouldn't come on staff. You're mid-career. You both have a career-paying job. Gwen did not go to college to be a missionary. You're gonna lose your house. What if people don't support you? My mom thought it was a cult, and so there was a lot of voices speaking. And who voices am I gonna listen to? Am I gonna listen to people, or am I gonna listen to God? Because whoever I surrender to and listen to, that's become my master. And the voice that we had to listen to was God's voice. Part of our journey, and one of the lessons God has taught us over the years, the life of faith will allow you to look foolish. If you're going to live the Christian life by your reputation, you and Gwen would never be the men and women of faith that I called you to be. And the reason it'll allow you to look foolish because of the unknown and the things yet not seen. And so we didn't know where our support was going to come from. We didn't have any contacts. We had never seen anybody raise support or trust God that way. But God was faithful, and God began to do some miraculous things. Sat down with a businessman and began to share with him what God had called us to do. But my job, I needed to come in staff training, which was 10 days, and my job was not going to allow me 10 days off to go prepare to leave the company and go to another job. And as we're sharing it with him, he asked me how much would I make that month. And I gave him the number, and he wrote a check and said, you can quit in the morning. And that was the journey of faith for us. And we seen God do miraculous things. We seen God being the source of our provision. And it caused us to have to surrender. Gwen and I, we just have decided that, our life is not our own, that we belong to the Lord, that Jesus Christ purchased us not with silver and gold, but with his shed blood. And we're willing to do whatever he called us to do. We don't believe that faith is blind. Faith is based on what God has spoken. And there's nothing wrong with looking at present reality. There's nothing wrong with looking at your gifts. But if God speaks, his voice trumps what we're thinking or how we feel. And so that journey of surrendering, going wherever God wants us to go, do whatever he wants us to do, say whatever he wants us to say, and give whatever he wants us to give. We believe that's the Christian life. And that's hard, to live a Christ-centered life and not a Darryl-centered life. And there's many mornings that I want to live a Darryl-centered life, not a Christ-centered life. And I have to die daily. And some days I do, and some days I don't. And even when I'm not faithful, God has always been faithful. And that's been our journey for 18 years, trusting God by faith. I don't know if I would have chose that journey. Well, I know I wouldn't have chose that journey. But God began to say, Darryl, with faith comes surrender. That I want you to surrender your life And I want you to trust me every day to be the source of your provision.